Hi sweeties, I've composed this translation of the Instructions of Shurrupak, which is an ancient 3rd millennia BCE, so that's 3,000 years before Jesus was born. And yeah, I think it's really interesting. It's a didactic text, and it's from post-deluge Sumerian history. So I really hope you like it. Enjoy.
In those days, in those far remote days, in those far away nights, in those far remote years, at that time the wise one who knew how to speak in elaborate words lived in the land. Shurrupak, the son of Tutu, gave instructions to his son Sura. My son, let me give you instructions, you should pay attention. Sura, let me speak a word to you, you should pay attention. Do not neglect my instructions. Do not transgress the words I speak. The instructions of an old man are precious. You should comply with them. You should not buy a donkey which brays. It will split your midriff. You should not locate a field on a road. You should not plough a field at a road or path. You should not make a well in your field. People will cause damage to it. You should not place your house next to a public square. There is always a crowd there. You should not vouch for someone, that man will have a hold on you, and you yourself should not let somebody vouch for you, for that man will despise you. You should not inspect a man, the flood will give it back to you. You should not loiter about when there is a quarrel, you should not let the quarrel make you a witness. You should not let yourself in a quarrel, you should not cause a quarrel, especially by the gate of the palace. Stand aside from a quarrel, for you should not take another road. You should not steal anything, you should not cheat yourself. You should not break into a house, you should not wish for the money chest. A thief is a lion, but after he has been caught, he will be a slave. My son, you should not commit robbery, you should not cut yourself with an axe. You should not make a young man best man, you should not besiege yourself. You should not play around with a married young woman. The slander could be serious. My son, you should not sit alone in a chamber with a married woman. You should not pick a quarrel. You should not disgrace yourself. You should not spread lies nor boast, then your words will be trusted. You should not deliberate for too long. You cannot bear false glances. You should not eat stolen food with a thief. You should not sink your hand into blood. After you have apportioned the bones, you will be made to restore the ox, and you will be made to restore the sheep. You should not speak improperly, later it will lay a trap for you. You should not scatter your sheep into unknown pastures. You should not hire someone's ox for an uncertain affair. A safe plan means a safe journey. You should not travel during the night, it can hide both good and evil. You should not buy an onager. It lasts only until the end of day. You should not have sex with your slave girl, she will chew you up. You should not curse strongly, it rebounds on you. You should not draw up water which you cannot grasp, it will make you weak. You should not drive away a debtor, he will be hostile toward you. You should not establish a home with an arrogant man, he will make your life like that of a slave girl. You will not be able to travel through any human dwelling without being shouted at, there you go, there you go. You should not undo the winding of a garden's reed fence, restore it, they will say to you. You should not provide a stranger with food, you should not wipe out a quarrel. My son, you should not use violence, you should not commit rape on someone's daughter, the courtyard will learn of it. You should not drive away a powerful man, you should not destroy the outer wall, you should not drive away a young man, you should not make him turn against the city. The eyes of a slanderer always move around as shiftily as a spindle. You should never remain in his presence, his intentions must not be allowed to have an effect on you. You should not boast in beer halls like a deceitful man, if you wish for your words to be trusted. Having reached the field of manhood, you should not jump with your hand. The warrior is unique, he alone is equal to many. Utu is unique, he alone is equal to many. With your life you should always be on the side of a warrior. With your life you should always be on the side of Utu. Shurrupak gave these instructions to his son. Shurrupak, the son of Ubaratutu, gave these instructions to his son Zyutsura. The beer-drinking mouth, my little one, is uneasy. Your own men will not repay honour for you. The reed beds are full, but they can hide no slander. The palace is like a mighty river, its middle is scoring bulls. What flows in is never enough to fill it, and what flows out cannot be stopped. When it is about someone else's bread, it is easy to say, I will give it to you, but the time of actual giving can be as far away as the sky. If you go after the man who said, I will give it to you, he will say, I cannot give it to you, the bread has just been finished up. Property is something to be expanded, but nothing can equal my little ones. The artistic mouth recites words, the harsh mouth brings litigation documents, the sweet mouth gathers sweet herbs. The garrulous man fills his bread bag, the haughty one brings an empty bag and can fill his empty mouth only with boasting. What works with leather will eventually work with his own leather. The strong one can escape from anyone's hand. The fool loses something. When sleeping, the fool loses something. Do not tie me up, he pleads. Let me live, he pleads. The imprudent decrees fates. The shameless one piles up things in another's lap. I am such that I deserve admiration. A weak wife is always seized by fate. If you hire a worker, he will share the bread bag with you. He eats from the same bag and finishes up the bag with you. Then he will quit working with you and saying, I have to live on something, he will serve at the palace. You tell your son to come to your home. You tell your daughter to go to her women's quarters. You should not pass judgment when you drink beer. You should not worry unduly about what leaves the house. Heaven is far, earth is most precious, but it is with heaven that you multiply your goods, and all foreign lands breathe under it. At harvest time, at the most priceless time, collect like a slave girl, you'll eat like a queen, my son. To collect like a slave girl, to eat like a queen, this is how it should be. Who insults can hurt only the skin, greedy eyes, however, can kill. The liar, shouting, tears up his garments. Insults bring advice to the wicked. To speak arrogantly is like an abscess, a herb that makes the stomach sick. My words of prayer bring abundance. Prayer is cool water that cools the heart. Only vapid insult and stupid speaking receive the attention of the land. Shurrupak gave these instructions to his son. Shurrupak, the son of Baratutu, gave these instructions to his son Zyutsura. You should not beat a farmer's son. He has constructed your embankments and ditches. You should not buy a prostitute. She is a mouth that bites. You should not buy a house-born slave. He is a herb that makes the stomach sick. You should not buy a free man. He will always lean against the wall. You should not buy a palace slave girl. She will always be the bottom of a barrel. You should rather bring down a foreign slave from the mountains, or you should bring somebody from a place where he is an alien. My son, then he will pour water for you when the sun rises, and he will walk before you. He does not belong to any family, so he does not want to go back to his family. He does not belong to any city, so he doesn't wish for his city. He will not knock at the door of destiny, for he cannot enter. He will not boast with you. He will not be presumptuous with you. My son, you should not travel alone eastwards. Your acquaintance should not take a name placed on another one. You should not pile up a mountain on another one. Fate is a wet bank. It can make one slip. The elder brother is indeed like a father. The elder sister is indeed like a mother. Listen therefore to your elder brother, and you should be obedient to your elder sister as if she were your mother. You should not work using only your eyes. You will not multiply your possessions using only the mouth. The negligent one ruins his family. The need for food makes some people ascend the mountains. It also brings traitors and foreigners, since the need for food brings down other people from the mountains. A small city provides its king with a calf. A huge city digs its king a house plot. The rich man is well equipped. The poor man inflicts all kinds of illnesses on the rich man. The married man is well equipped. The unmarried makes his bed in a haystack. He who wishes to destroy a house will go ahead and destroy the house. He who wishes to raise up will go ahead and raise up. By grasping the neck of a huge ox, you can cross a river. By moving along at the side of the mighty men of your city, my son, you will certainly ascend. When you bring a slave girl from the hills, she brings both good and evil with her. The good is in the hands, the evil is in the heart. The heart does not let go of the good, but the heart cannot let go of the evil either. As if it were a watery place, the heart does not abandon the good. May the boat with the evil sink in the river, may his water skin split in the desert.